Here is my review of the match. If you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below as we push towards 1,500 subscribers. Like the video and also get your thoughts on the match in the comments down below. Let's get into the match review. So let's have a look back at this game, and you've got to say that Leinster started firing on all cylinders, really putting the pressure on from the kickoff. A kickoff that was so well worked from Leinster, perfectly placed by Rosberg, and Munster just could only gather it and be pushed into touch. And after a few phases from the Leinster lads and the forwards, they got their penalty through Rosberg, who converted his kick. As the game went on then into the 11th minute, once again, Leinster got a penalty, and their dominance was so much in this game. You've got to say as well that for all their dominance, though, they would have been very disappointed to only be 6-0 up, and Munster would count themselves lucky, and there was a theme to that throughout the game. The game continued on, and finally, Munster got a penalty in the 13th minute as Joey Carberry slotted his penalty. In fact, Munster did have opportunities to take the lead in this one. Conor Murray and Joe Carberry both missing penalties. Conor Murray's from quite a distance. Carberry probably should have got his kick. In fact, he didn't have the greatest game in a red shirt. But for all of Leinster's dominance throughout this first half, there really was no reward for it. And in the end, Munster did get that penalty to go 6-6 at half-time. Joey Carberry getting that one for the away side. So 6-6 at half-time. Leinster had absolutely dominated. I think they'd had about 70% possession in that first half, had about 75% territory, and yet had not managed to take the lead. But it wouldn't be long before, after the break, that Leinster's dominance would begin to tell, as Conan powered over. Of course, scored a try for Ireland last week against England, and finally got a try for Leinster's first one in over 3 years for his team, powering over some good work from the forwards. And we know how clinical Leinster are from about 5 to 10 metres out. They just get their forwards, they absolutely smash it, they keep going, they keep their discipline. And what a performance from him. And from that moment on, it really meant that Munster had to come out and try and chase the game. And if we're being totally honest, the lack of creativity in that Munster team today was horrific at points. It was really, really poor. There was no creativity from the likes of Carberry, Healy at fullback. Andrew Conway hardly touched the ball. Damien Diolande didn't do much, although he had a decent game defensively. It was so easy for Leinster to defend. Second half with a couple of changes to both sides. Sexton came on but went off after receiving a knock. So Bernard's play out the rest of the game, even though he wasn't fully fit himself. He did slot a penalty in the 68th minute, which gave this Leinster side a 10-point gap, which would eventually be the final score of the game. This really meant, once again, Munster had to chase it. And although they were trying to push and trying to get through this Leinster defence, again, the lack of creativity, the amount of knock-ons, the amount of loose passes that were happening really were a cause for concern for Munster. And the reality is Leinster probably should have won this one by more. But for Leinster, they win their 4th title on the bounce. Congratulations to Leinster fans. Absolutely thoroughly deserved this one. You did top conference A and Munster did top conference B. But at the end of the day, you were much the better side and could consider yourselves unlucky not to have won by more. Key players for me in this one, you've got to say that Ruddock was absolutely phenomenal around the park. Stepped past a couple of players like a winger in his prime, but also was powerful in defence and a brilliant option in the lineouts. Again, Robbie Henshaw continued his fantastic form from Ireland and took it into this game and was exceptional throughout, putting in some massive hits during the game and also carrying the ball and getting into open space in a more attack-minded sense. But Leinster win the title, and the attention for both sides now will turn, of course, to Europe and then to the Rainbow Cup. As always, if you've enjoyed this review, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe and like the video as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.